Hi guys, I'm back, and as you can tell, my hair's faded out quite a bit since the last time we spoke, so it's time for a color refresh. I've already gone ahead and mixed my formula. It's going to be this guy right here. What I used for today's colors are all Pulp Riot. Again, you can use whatever you have on hand or whatever product line or color combination you like. This is just what I used. What I used was a lot of conditioner, pretty much the whole bottle of conditioner, a little bit of Fireball, and a little bit of Nightfall with a little bit of powder blue. And basically, if you're using a different color line, it's going to be a dash of red, a little dash of their darkest blue, and then the lightest blue. I felt like when I added that, it kind of smoked it out a little bit more. So that's what I used to create this. And I'm not going to do any fancy placements this time around. I'm just pretty much doing an all over color. So I'm going to use gloves this time because I did get my nails done recently and I don't want to stain them with any color. Alright, so, and then pretty much why I am doing an all over color this time, other than I haven't had it for a while, is because I'm trying to blend them in with my extensions. I haven't worn my extensions in quite a while. I've used them once in this entire summer, as recently as the last video that I posted. Because it gets really hot and I don't like all the extra hair. But since it is starting to get kind of cool outside, as you can tell, I'm actually really excited to start playing with them again. And the color that they currently are, which I dyed them very recently, is like a really nice smoky lavender. So that's why I'm going with that color today. Plus my hair can use a little bit of a conditioning treatment. The fun part about on all over colors, you can literally, obviously, just go all over. You don't have to take a long time with placing any super placements. I personally like doing fancy placements. I think it looks really cool and dimensional. But sometimes you just want to be just naturally purple all over. And I definitely do recommend making a little concoction if you are wanting to maintain your color. I definitely recommend doing like a little conditioner concoction that you can use when you shampoo your hair, because that way it'll kind of maintain the color a little bit longer and you won't have to go through this whole process every single time. You can just put it on when you condition and leave it on for about 3 to 5 minutes while you're in the shower, shaving your legs, doing whatever you do in the shower, and then rinse it off, and it'll have a little hint of that stain and it'll definitely support your color longer. Alright, so it's as easy as that. I'm going to go ahead and clip it back, leave it in for about 20 to 30 minutes depending on how fast the conditioner dries out, and I'll be back with you when I have it washed out. Alright guys, so now that we got our hair colored and washed, I'm going to go ahead and apply my extensions. The extensions that I'm using today are from Irresistible Me. Now keep in mind that I've had these for about a year and I've done a lot to them, so they don't look like they would normally look like fresh out of the package. So what I've done is I've actually colored them like a purpley maroon color so that it has a little bit of dimension and it matches my hair. And then, well, what I did was I colored my hair to match the extensions. These originally were the 16-inch, I believe 160 grams, and they are the Remy ones. What I've actually done though is, since my hair is naturally a little bit more fine to medium, it's not super thick, what I've done was with that 4 weft one, I've actually cut it in half and I've made 2 because I think it is way too much hair for me. I don't like having that much hair. I like it to feel like more of what my hair naturally feels like. So what I actually use is only 5 pieces. So that 4-piece one that is cut in half, I use that. And then I use this 3-clip one. I believe it's like 5 inches, it looks like. And then I use 3 of the 2-clip ones. And that is all I use on my hair. And I feel like that's a decent amount of hair. If I do want to be a little bit extra and have a little bit more thickness, I'll add the other 4-piece weft that I cut in half. But that's very rare. It's more like on a night out type of a thing. I don't do it every day. And it's not an exact match because every time I wash my hair it fades out, every time I wash the extensions it fades out. So that's why I add a lot of dimension on the extensions. That way it always looks like it kind of goes together. So what I do is I'll take from ear to ear, section that off, and then I curl it really roughly, and I just do like a loose curl. And this is I believe it's 1.25 inches. I'll just curl that very roughly and just away from my face, just like that. I have it set at 350. If you have thicker hair, you may need to do maybe 3 to 4 sections, but mine is pretty medium. It's not super thick, so I get away with just doing it in 2. So what I'll do is I'll go in with a comb that's like this. Oh, excuse me. I'll go in with the comb that's just like this. It's just a back combing brush. You can get this at Sally's. And I'll get a little piece here. So just like about 1/2 inch of a section. And what I do is I just back brush it. The whole thing. And if your hair does not hold back brushing well, what I would do is I would recommend putting some hairspray or texture spray on that back brushing line just so that it really sticks. But mine holds a little bit of a back brush because it is a little bit dry. So I'm not going to do that because I want the least amount of product so that I don't feel like it's super grimy and dirty and that I'll have to wash it soon. So I'm going to take this 4-piece one and I'm just going to clip that whole thing. Just like that. And then I'll turn around so you can see the back. It's just like that. It doesn't have to be perfect or anything. It just has to feel secure. So then what I like to do is curl this part here. And I just cut these recently. I just did them very blunt and bold. I didn't add any texture or any really too much face framing because I wanted to do it with my current hair. So we're going to go ahead and cut them today as well. And I am ordering a new set, which I'll do the whole process from start to finish, so that you can see how I color, texture, how I decide to place them with my hair. I'll be doing a review on the new set that comes. So see, it kind of just goes within itself, kind of like that. So I'm going to leave that alone for now, and then I'm going to bring the next section down. So with this one here, I'm going to grab from the ends of my brows all the way back. And what I like to do is I like my extensions to sit as low as possible on my head. I do not like to bring them high. I'm super paranoid about my tracks or wefts or anything showing. So I like to have them as low as possible, and then I'll cut a lot of layers into them because I feel like it's easier to blend it in that way than having them like way at the top and then potentially having like the wind blow or a hug and then messing up and then just showing a little bit of, it's like my worst paranoid fear. So I keep them low. So I'll show you what I do here. So again, I grabbed it from like the bottom of the tail of my brow. And what I do is I grab it and then angle my fingers down. So it's practically sitting at the top of the previous one. So all I'm really bringing down is the sides. All right, so what I'm going to do is curl those away. Alright, and what I like to do is I'll go in and grab a little layer, about half of what I just, majority to half of what I just brought down. Back brush it again, just like that, and then do the same thing to this side here. Kind of like that. And then I'm going to actually be going in with the 3-piece one, the 3-clipped one, like that. And I'm going to attach it on this side. And then I'm going to be grabbing a 2-clip one, like that, and attaching it on this side. And you'll notice that it's not going to connect all the way to the back, but that's okay with me because I feel like that 4-clip one that we previously applied is thick enough where it'll give enough density in the back where it won't feel like there's a gap if I don't put anything back there. So I'll show you what it looks like. And I'll make sure to show you guys what the back looks like because I don't know about you guys, but I haven't seen an extension video or any type of hair video where they show the back, and it drives me crazy because the front looks phenomenal, but then it's like, what does the back look like? And a lot of the times the back doesn't look great, which is why they don't show it. So I'll make a point to show you guys what the back looks like here. So again, I'm going to curl this away from my face, and I'm dropping my natural hair. A lot of people like to curl it together so that it blends together. I personally don't, just because my hair is really damaged, so I don't want to put any extra heat on it. If I have to, of course I will. I'll go back and do it, but I prefer to just try to curl it separately or wait till my hair's all applied and then just curl it all together. But you see what I mean? This is why I'm going to go back in and cut layers, because it kind of just, it's so heavy that it kind of just holds the curl down here and it doesn't give any body to the top. So we'll just go ahead and do that. And I'll leave it alone for the most part and let it kind of cool down, and then I mess it all up or run my fingers through it at the end. And because of the way that the hair is on the weft, I like to kind of curl it down but away from my face rather than holding the curling iron straight up and down. I like to place it at the same direction that the weft is, just because I feel like it feels more natural and the hair will look nicer rather than if you try to create a illusion that's not really built in with the extension here. And what I'm gonna do here, I'll kind of marry those two together so that they kind of dry together or cool down together. Alright, so next piece is I'm gonna grab from about the arch of my brow. I'm gonna do the same exact thing. I'm gonna kind of do it at a diagonal down, not straight back. And I know this looks amazing. I should cut my bangs like this. Alright, so this is what it looks like. It's more of at a diagonal, and again you'll see that the back is pretty much sitting almost right on top of those previous ones. So just like that. Alright, so again, kind of really messily curling these guys here. Just like that, really messy, nothing super precise. And then I'm going to grab the last two pieces that we have. So both of them are going to be the 2-clip. And what I'm going to do is, again, back brush. Kind of like that. And I'm going to apply this one, this is usually part of my fringe area, so I'm going to apply it right behind that. So about about an inch or two behind the hairline, depending on what fringe you naturally have. And I think this one is from the other side just because of the way that it's curling. Alright, so I'm going to back brush this side. And also too, like if you want to be pinning your hair back or put it like in a loose ponytail, you don't want those tracks to show. So you want to leave like a natural hairline of your real hair, just so that it gives it a little bit of something to camouflage the weft. Now, if you don't feel comfortable cutting your extensions when they're on your hair, I would definitely recommend buying like a styrofoam head, or just placing it on something that's really inexpensive, because you don't want to run the risk of cutting your real hair when you're trying to trim these. But I feel comfortable doing that with my hair applied, so I'm going to go ahead and do it that way. But I know a lot of people don't feel comfortable, or they might just run the accident of doing that, so just be very careful of that. Alright, so you see how it all kind of blends in at first? It looks a little scary because it's two completely different colors, but since there's so much dimension in the extension, it totally blends once it's applied to my hair. Alright, so now this is going to all be our natural hair. So what we're going to do is just curl it like we normally do curl it. So I'm going to actually turn this down, because now this is I'm turning it down to 250. So I'm just going to curl my hair like I normally would. I like more of a loose, beachy type of a wave, so that's what I'm going to go for. So ideally you would let it set for about 10 to 15 minutes so that the curls loosen up, but I'm just going to go ahead and go in really lightly with my fingers to loosen it, because I don't want it to be too like super curly. I like a messy kind of loosey look. I feel like it looks more natural. So kind of like that. Alright, so now that we have it kind of loosened up and how we would naturally wear it, because that's important, is you want to have it how you would naturally wear it, because that's how you're going to see where there's pieces that could be fixed. And so what I'm going to do is, I usually like a lot of face framing. So if you see here on mine, there's like stringy little bits right here, and I don't like that because I feel like it makes it look fake pretty much. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab it and make sure that I don't have any of my natural hair in here, and I'm just going to get some scissors or shears, and I'm just going to go like this to create kind of like a face framing. And you'll see that it's more, it kind of flows more and it looks more natural rather than just having the loose little dangly strings right there. So I'm going to go again just to check it one more time. Making sure my natural hair is not in there. Alright, and now that actually looks a lot better. You can see how it just feels a little bit more natural. But also, I don't like how thick it kind of feels. Right here it feels a little bit heavy. You'll see that there's like a string right there that just seems like it doesn't belong. So I'm going to pick up that piece, like that whole section. And I could kind of see where my natural hair is, so I'm going to kind of pick it out. Let it drop naturally. I can't get the scissors. Make sure this is not, yep, this is part of the extension. Okay. Alright, and what I'm going to do is do the same exact thing. Pick up that piece. And I'm just going to create the volume that I want. And you're really barely cutting anything, but it's just enough to kind of add some texture. So again, just picking up this whole section here, kind of letting my natural hair fall out, and you see that it adds a little bit. It's more piecey, it looks more layered, more natural. And what I'm gonna actually do is, I feel like it's too thick on the bottom, like too heavy. So I'm gonna go ahead and point cut it. Basically, all you do in that case is you grab all the hair and you hold it up like this and you cut down into it to kind of thin it down. So let me see if I can. What this does is it thins it out, creates more texture without making it, it kind of takes the bluntness away, which I like because I don't want it to be too heavy. And I'm not always going to place my extensions in the exact same spot. So I don't want it to be too blunt, because on the day that I don't have it at the same spot, it's going to look choppy. So you'll see how that feels a lot more natural than this side. This side it's like more stringy, thicker, and this side just seems like it kind of goes with the whole, like it seems like it belongs to me, which it does, but it feels like it's growing out of me. So let's do this side here. So again, you'll see that this side is kind of heavier on this area here. So what we're gonna do is grab that area, make sure the hair falls down, and I'm trying to not cut my real hair and also see what I'm doing in the mirror, so just bear with me. So what I'm going to do is cut it kind of like that. And that just already feels a lot more natural. And I'm going to do the same thing to this side here as we did to the other one. I'm going to grab this whole side section and kind of do like a little bit of texturizing. So this is my real hair. My real hair. I'm going to be really careful not to chop some of your hair off, because that would not be good. Especially if you've been trying to grow it out forever, like somebody I know. That somebody is me. Alright, so grabbing that bottom again, bringing it up, and just going in. And a little bit does a lot. So that already feels so much better. And what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to make sure that they're even on both sides. Alright, so that feels pretty good. It feels like it feels comfortable. It doesn't feel too heavy, too thick, or anything like that. Right, so now what we're going to do is blend them. So what I like to do is, since this is pretty heavy on this side here, I don't feel like it needs too much blending. I feel like the back is always my scary area because I can't see, so I get really paranoid that it's not going to be blended. So I lift this top corner here, and I just basically pick up all this hair around here. I back brush and I lay it down. So luckily though, since we placed them so low, there's not a lot of work that needs to be done to blend them in. You want to be careful though not to take all the hair from the front to cover up the back, and then you don't leave any hair to cover up the front. So, and I'm a victim of that. I've done it so many times before, so that's why I'm saying. You see, this guy's popping through because I took all my hair and I put it to the back. In that case, you just... So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and grab some hairspray. And I know a lot of people don't like to put hairspray on the extensions. I personally do. I feel like if you want it to look like your hair, you have to style it like your hair. So I do go in with hairspray, and I like to use this It 12-in-1 argan oil hairspray. It smells pretty good and it's really light. Alright, so now that I've changed, and I did double check the back just to make sure that everything was blended the way that I want it to be blended. I didn't move any of the extensions. They're still in the same exact placement. I just did a little bit of back brushing to make sure that everything was concealed properly. So I'll go ahead and show you the back of what it looks like. And you'll see that my hair, my natural hair, ends about here. And it just looks a lot fuller. And then here is the side view. And then I'll show you the other side. And I love it. I feel like by choosing something that's a little bit more natural to your hair length, it kind of gives you something for your hair to support, and it kind of flows together more nicer. It feels like it belongs to you, and it's growing out of your head, and it's fuller. So I definitely like, I used to be one of those that would choose like something super long, and it took me hours just to try to blend it. But now I just go with something a little bit longer, customize it the way I like, and I feel like I'm a lot happier and it's a lot faster. This is just my preferred way of doing it. Of course, do you, but this is what I like to do. I do have a new set on the way, so I will be filming a tutorial on how I customize that set, potentially switching up my color. Not sure yet, more than likely switching it up because I get bored really fast, so stay tuned for that. I will be posting my social medias in the description bar, as well as the type of extension that these are. And again, this is not a review for these extensions. This is just a tutorial as to how I place and cut them. So it's not a review. Please comment with any questions that you have, or just stop by to say hi. I will also be linking my social medias in the description bar, as well as the type of extensions that I used. And as usual, the color that I used is Pulbright. You can use whatever color you want, but that's just what I used to color my hair. And if you're not already, please subscribe. I'd like to have you a part of the family, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye guys.